Hey friend, welcome back to Align Vitality. Today we're starting a series that I've really been looking forward to sharing with you because it brings together two things that really have become deeply connected in my own life and in my work, and hopefully increasingly so on this show, and that is functional health and faith. Sometimes it's been a little bit difficult knowing how to kind of connect these two pieces together. But what I've come to understand is this. God designed our bodies and he designed our souls. And the same God who created physical systems that require nourishment, rest, movement, stress management, and other kind of rhythms of health also created us with spiritual needs that mirror those same principles. So over the next few weeks, we're going to walk through the foundations of health and look at how those same foundations show up in our spiritual lives. Not so much in a forced, perfectionistic way or even a symbolic way, but in a way that is actually consistent with how God designed us. And today, we're starting with really one of the biggest foundations, and that is nourishment. Do you want to recharge your energy, restore your mental clarity, and finally feel like yourself again? Well, you are in the right place. Welcome to Align Vitality, the podcast that offers faith and functional health strategies for high-achieving, health-conscious women in midlife who want to heal from chronic stress, body and spirit. I'm your host, Tanya, a certified functional health practitioner, Christian life coach, and fellow midlife woman who knows what it's like to look strong on the outside while struggling silently on the inside. Here, we get real about anxiety, brain fog, burnout, hormone shifts, and the hidden toll of chronic stress. And more importantly, we talk about the path to healing. Each week, you'll find practical strategies and faith-fueled encouragement to help you restore your God-given energy, calm your nervous system, and reclaim peace in this season of life. If you're ready to stop pushing through and start thriving in the abundant life you were created for, let's get after it. This is Align Vitality. From a functional, holistic health perspective, nourishment is not optional. Your body depends on protein to build and repair. It depends on fats for hormone and brain function, carbohydrates for energy, micronutrients for every cellular process. And when we're undernourished, whether that's from restriction, stress, poor intake, poor quality of nourishment, the body suffers and compensates. Our energy levels drop, our moods shift, our hormones become dysregulated, our nervous systems become more reactive, and sometimes we don't even cognitively realize what's happening. We just feel off, unwell, tired, anxious, depressed, irritable, because the body can't function well without consistent nourishment. And this is where the parallel becomes meaningful. Our soul requires nourishment too. In Matthew chapter 4, verse 4, Jesus says, "Man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God." He's not dismissing physical nourishment, he's expanding on it. He's saying, you were not designed to live on physical input alone. Your soul needs nourishment too. It needs truth. It needs connection with God. It needs time in His presence. Because you can be physically full and still feel extremely empty. In both body and soul, and when I say soul, I mean spiritual health, really, what we consume matters. If we consistently consume processed food, excess alcohol, excess sugar, caffeine, poor quality foods, minimal nourishment, the body becomes unstable and unhealthy. And in the same way, if we consistently consume the noise of the world, comparison with others, fear-based messaging, constant distractions, material success, or just thinking that everything is about material gain, our souls become unsettled. We feel anxious, restless, disconnected, and never really fulfilled. Now, this spiritual nourishment and this whole conversation isn't about perfection at all. It's about improving our awareness and acting accordingly, because what we feed ourselves consistently does shape how we feel. This becomes especially important in midlife because the body becomes less tolerant of inconsistency and less able to compensate. What you could get away with in your 20s and 30s, it no longer works the same way. Blood sugar swings hit us harder. Sleep becomes more sensitive, and when we lose sleep, everything gets messed up. Stress has a bigger impact, and we're less resilient to the same level of stressors that we once were. And the same is true spiritually. What used to feel optional becomes essential. Time with God, grounding ourselves in the truth, intentional stillness. Because without it, everything starts to feel harder. And let's be honest, we never truly know when the day will come that we are taken from this earth. Every day brings more urgency to lock in the foundations of health for our temporal, earthly lives, but more importantly, the foundations for life eternal. In John chapter 6, verse 35, Jesus says, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry." Again, not metaphor only here. This is truth. He is the source. And this is where we have to be careful not to replace the source with substitutes. Just like supplements are helpful, but they can't really replace real, good, whole food, motivation, productivity, and even self-improvement can't replace spiritual nourishment. You can do all the, quote, right things and still feel very empty because you're trying to be filled by something that was never meant to sustain you. You're trying to fill the God-shaped hole with things other than God. So, what does this nourishment look like in real life? Again, not about perfection, not about rigid routines, just small, consistent nourishment. For your body, it means balanced meals made from real whole foods, not processed foods. Read labels. If you can't read it, don't eat it. Cook your own food as much as possible. Get adequate and good quality protein with each meal. Eat what is right for you, specifically, individually. Ideally, what's right for your metabolic type. Avoid or limit foods that you're sensitive to or that are inflammatory. Maintain a balanced blood sugar. Get adequate hydration with good quality filtered water. Ideally, your meals should satisfy your hunger. They should give you solid energy and produce a positive emotional state. If they aren't, you are likely eating the wrong kinds of food and are not eating the right proportions of protein, fat, and healthy carbohydrates when it comes to your specific metabolic type or how your body uses food for fuel. Or you're eating things that are inflammatory. Now, let's go back to how you should respond to your meals if you're feeding your body the right things. Let me say these again. Your meals should satisfy your hunger, give you solid energy, and produce a positive emotional state. Well, similarly, your spiritual food should do the same things. So what does practical nutrition for your soul look like? Well, it's time spent in God's Word, prayer, and when I say prayer, I mean it's ongoing conversation with the Lord. Spiritual nourishment includes time spent in fellowship with other believers, time spent in stillness, listening for the small, still voice of the Lord, connection and relationship building by seeking to understand the character of God through His Word and inviting Him into every aspect of your life. This isn't to be treated like a checklist, just something on your to-do list. Consider this true nourishment that your mind, body, and spirit depend upon for survival. Folks, if you take one thing from today, let it be this. You were designed to be nourished, physically and spiritually. And when either one is neglected, you will feel it. Because your body and your soul are asking for what they were created to receive. Next week, we're going to talk about rest and why you can't heal without it, body or soul. Until then, be gentle with yourself and pay attention to what you're feeding, because what you feed is what will grow. God bless, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me today, my friend. If today's episode encouraged or blessed you, would you please take a minute to leave a rating and written review on Apple Podcasts? It means the world to me, and it helps more women like you discover this message of hope and healing. If you're ready to take the next step in your functional health journey, join my interest list at alignvitalityhealth.com. And remember, this podcast is for educational purposes only. It is not intended to be medical advice, nor is it intended to diagnose or treat disease. Please consult your healthcare provider before making changes to your health. Until next time, I'm Tanya Ingesether, reminding you that healing is possible and your best season is still ahead.